Cooking with Marius today. You guys seem to like these, so today I'm doing, I like chicken, so there's different ways you can make chicken. I'm doing kebabs. I was just pulling out my ingredients, trying to see what else I was jacking. So I'm doing ribs later too. Doing ribs and kebab. We would conclude that we do not know enough about specific businesses to predict future earnings. It's a humbling message, but if a man $1 million is sharing his wisdom, I'm willing to. Yeah, I'm gonna go put that light on. Seems really bright. Doesn't need the stock picking skills like here. In aggregate, the American business has done wonderfully well over time and will continue to do so. In 2020, the Dow Jones invested in the $56 and ended at $1,497. Warren Buffett believes the 21st century will witness further substantial gains. Therefore, is that a little better? Any difference? I mean, y'all can see me better. This is actually better for me anyway. Let's go. Like I said with every cooking with me video, this is like I'm cooking for somebody else. Whatever, I would get black gloves, but it's my food, so I like to put my own love and energy into it. Feel me? But definitely when you're cooking for other people, black glove up. Black glove up. Alright, so I think I'm gonna start just prepping this. You can see this. Just getting that ready. The hardest thing is not hardest, but I like to start with the chicken usually, but I never start with this, so to be different, plus you guys kind of get to see something different on camera. Probably don't see a lot of people pull out like a rock and a stone. You know what I mean? But cooking. Feel me? Because, I'm not even going to say too much. Set that up. Gerald Collins, one of my favorite authors who wrote The Secret Happy Wealth, also recommends a simple two-point strategy. His recommendation is slightly different in a specific fund, but the general concept is pretty much the same. He recommends a total market index. A Vanguard specific fund with a Vanguard total stock market index fund, the VTSA. And for bonds, he recommends Vanguard total bond market index fund, VVTLS. And he breaks down his recommendation by saying these are chicken thighs. When you're in your wealth accumulation phase, when you're still investing into the market, he recommends 100% in stocks, VTSAS. He believes that you should be aggressive in your wealth accumulation phase, and I personally agree. You have time on your side, and because you're in the accumulation phase, the market ups and downs don't matter. And when you're now in the wealth preservation phase, when you're living off your investments, he allocates 75% of his funds to stocks, and the rest in bonds and cash. So the question is this: is a two-fund portfolio a sound investment approach? Is it something that you and I can follow? And the simple answer is yes. Let me give you a few reasons why the simple index fund investing strategy is so effective. Number one reason, and Warren Buffett nailed this one on the head, is that we can't pick winning stocks. Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger made a profession out of researching and identifying undervalued companies. And to their own words, they made mistakes as well. People forget that Warren Buffett lost $3.5 billion on Dexter shares. And he admits that it was the worst deal he ever made. But through these mistakes, Warren Buffett honed his stock picking skills over a period of 7 decades, and thus made himself a household name. I think we should check our info if we think we can pick stocks like Warren Buffett. The harsh truth is that I can't pick winning individual stocks, and neither can you. Nor the vast majority of people who claim they did or can. It is amazingly difficult, and having the humility to accept this will be the key to making you rich and wealthy. Index investing is powerful because despite our lack of stock picking skills, we can still amass quite a bit of wealth by harnessing the power of the equities market. Another reason why a simple two-fund index fund strategy.
I had to take that extra fat off, but this is more so to cut it into pieces for the skewer.
Such as financial advisors and fund managers, as
Yeah.
can do it. When we talk about the stock market, we're most often referring to what is
I'm listening to my guy talk right now.
the S&P 500. The S&P is an index of 500 largest companies in the United States. It includes major companies like Apple, Google, and Coca-Cola, and it includes hundreds of other large to small companies. Since 1980, the S&P 500 has delivered an annual average of over 7%. So in order to beat the
Sometimes
market,
it's slimy.
a financial advisor would need to
I mean, that's
design a
chicken now.
portfolio that surpasses the system. This is not easy. The financial advisor must be skilled at designing the right investments, diversifying, and keeping up with market trends. A tall order for anyone. Very few financial advisors have the skill and knowledge necessary to beat an index fund. According to a 2020 SPIA report, over a 15-year period, nearly 90% of actively managed investment funds fail to beat the market. The majority of these actively managed funds have either poor performance and high fees, or average performance and low fees, but only about 1 out of 10 perform well on both fronts. Another reason why index investing is so effective is its low operating costs. Actively managed funds are known to charge anywhere between 1 to 2% expense ratios. This means that between 1 to 2% of your investment is deducted each year to pay the fund manager to run the funds. On a $100,000 portfolio, that comes out to $1,000 to $2,000 annually. By contrast, index funds are much cheaper, given no person is actually managing the fund's performance. There isn't a person deciding which funds to buy or sell, or when to buy or sell them. The fund simply replicates the index. As a result, most index funds have an expense ratio well under 0.1%. VTSAX and VFIAX, Vanguard's Total Stock Market Index Funds, and Vanguard's S&P 500 Index Funds have respective expense ratio of 0.04%. On a $100,000 portfolio, this comes out to $40 annually. I'll take a $40 expense ratio over $2,000 any day. And the real power of low operating costs really comes into play when you incorporate compounding into the formula. These expense ratios can net you or cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over a period of 10 to 20 years. Costs matter, and the king of low costs are passively managed index funds. So,
to tell you all the incredible things about T-Mobile, we tried to make a commercial with Bradley Cooper and his mother.
Hi, how can I help you?
I don't like the way you look. Does T-Mobile really have a 5?
America's largest fund.
oh, you might be saying at this point, alright, Kate, I got it. Warren Buffett and Gerald Collins' two-fund index portfolio strategy makes sense. But how about compared to a three-fund portfolio? Great question. The three-fund portfolio is an investing approach made widely popular by the global heads, devout followers of Mr. Jack Wolf's investment philosophy. And I talked extensively about the benefits here in this video. Simply, a three-fund portfolio is a portfolio made up of an equities index fund, an international index fund, and a bond index fund. A popular Vanguard selection of these three funds are as follows. Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund, VTSAX. You can also substitute an S&P 500 Index Fund, VFIAX. Next, Vanguard Total International Stock Market Index Fund, VTIAX. Then, Vanguard Total Bond Index Fund, VBTFX. You can also substitute for Vanguard Short-Term Treasury Index Fund, the VSBSX, based on Warren Buffett's recommendation. So when we compare this three-fund portfolio to the two-fund portfolios, the glaring difference is the absence of an international stock fund. So let's talk about this international fund. I also have a specific video where I go deeper into VTIAX, you can check that here. But in a nutshell, VTIAX, Vanguard's Total International Stock Index Funds, represents close to 8,000 non-US based companies. International companies that we may have heard of, such as Samsung, Shell, and Alibaba, and thousands of others we may have never heard of. By having this fund in your portfolio, you get exposure to emerging and developed markets holdings spread all around the world. Now, why would Warren Buffett and Gerald Collins exclude this fund from their recommended portfolio? There are a few reasons. One is due to accounting rules. Accounting is not a sexy topic, but you have to give it to America's accounting standards. Compared to many other countries in the world, especially emerging countries, America's accounting practices is top-notch. When American companies produce their quarterly and annual financial reports, they need to adhere to strict accounting policies. Many other countries do not have the same level of transparency and strict accounting standards that's required here in the U.S. So what this means is that when you review a growing company's latest annual financial report, there's a chance that the number reported is actually not that accurate. Another reason for excluding international funds is that the world economy is a lot more integrated today than ever before. Many of the major US-based companies today aren't just domestic companies, but they're actually international corporations. They generate a good percentage of their sales and profits overseas. For example, just look at Apple, the biggest US company based on market capitalization. As of the second quarter of fiscal year 2021, almost 70% of Apple's core revenue was generated from outside the United States. At one point, there were more Chinese people purchasing Apple products than there were Americans. So the perspective Warren Buffett...
I mean, that makes sense if it's from China, though.
When you hold US-based company stocks, you already have access to the growth of the world market, and they're able to gain the benefit of that growth. And the final reason for excluding international funds could be due to its lackluster performance in the past decade. When we compare VTSAS versus VTIAS the past 10 years, from 2012 to the present, the 10-year returns on the international funds is pretty visible compared to the US market. 4.5% versus 11%.
So I'm not really talking, guys. I'm obviously listening to him, and you see I'm cutting right now. I hope he's entertaining enough to keep this going. You know, cooking with me videos, I mean, unless we live and I'm interacting with you guys, like, you just catching a recording of it. So as soon as TikTok lets me go live, yo, we live with these, feel me? Get to engage. Till then, thanks for watching these. This is the start, for real. It's been 11 minutes and I've just been cutting chicken. That's how cooking goes, man. As soon as I get this drink fired up, it's gonna be lit. Oh, this chicken, I don't even know if I'm gonna have enough skills for all this shit, but we're gonna see. It's better to have way more than way less, though, feel me?
Should you include it in your portfolio? I never like it when people tell me this, but it really depends. So much of it depends on your worldview and appetite for risk in the international market. If you believe that in today's global economy, US companies are no longer exclusively US companies, and that they're international corporations, a two-pronged portfolio might make sense for you. There's good evidence to reinforce this assumption. Just look back at the September 2008. It's most often referred to as a global financial crisis, not just a US crisis. What happened with the US housing market had a ripple effect across the whole globe because our markets and companies are now so entirely integrated. Growth in countries like China and South Korea is already being reflected in US companies like Apple, who are selling their latest iPhones overseas. And another reason why a two-tone portfolio might make sense for you is if you just want simplicity. Two, it's always easier to manage than three. And if you want that level of simplicity in your life, I believe the two-tone portfolio will be perfect for you. Alright, so where do I personally stand? Somewhere in between. I love the simplicity of two-tone portfolio, but I also like the idea of having some limited international exposure. So the majority of my equities are held in VTSAS, and I have a small percentage in VTIAS. Really small percentage until I get more comfortable with international exposure. And I'm adding a little bit of VVTLX as I get closer to my retirement age. If you want to delve deeper into the two-tone portfolio, check out my video here. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, all the best.
Till next time, all the best. All the best.
When I saw you went and did the watch site, Hodaki, first of all, Sean, have you ever read that? Like, when I heard, I was like, a blog? I like watches, I have Rolexes, it's like a blog for luxury watches. What the hell is this guy thinking?
Did you just say that it went from like $1 million or $2 million in revenue, and now it's, Sam said it's over $100 million?
Yeah, we're over $100 million in revenue now. Man, that is watch quick.
What's up? Alright, in this episode we are sitting down with Kevin Rose. A lot of you know Kevin because he's an internet OG. He created Gate back in the day. He was a seed investor in Twitter and a bunch of other cool companies. He's been a VC, he's been a founder. He recently launched an NFT project that's done hundreds of millions of dollars worth of NFT sales. And so Kevin's just been around for a while. And the cool part of the interview, if you listen to it, you're going to see very chill guy, very down to earth, very humble, and not a kind of like oh my God, you go trip over the wall, bubble over with ambition and a big chip on his shoulder. Seemed like a happy dude who was enjoying himself and had a ton of success in the process. I like that. I like seeing people who play the game, and he's definitely somebody who's interesting. We talked about a bunch of his projects that you may not know about. So, for example, is creating Watchville, this niche project for watches that grew from $1 million in revenue to now over $100 million after it got acquired and merged with Hodinkee. Then also we talked about how he hires writers. We talked about how he got into Twitter as an early investor and what does he do with his money. So he's got a bunch of money. How does he invest it? Where does he put it? And the answer's not what you may have expected. The last thing we did at the end is we did the crypto debate. So Sam is sort of a crypto skeptic. Kevin is obviously a crypto believer and one of the kind of most well-known guys in the crypto scene. And we had a little debate where we talked about, is it all bullshit or are there some use cases? So I hope you enjoyed this episode with Kevin Rose. I liked it. I think you will too.
We should give like a brief overview, but like your resume, we don't really talk too much about like resumes and stuff, but your resume is like crazy long. So I've been following you forever. So I've known about your work. So you started Gig, which was, when did you start that, in 04?
2004, that's right.
Yeah, and so it was like one of the original like site like link aggregators, and it was like a cultural phenomenon, and that was crazy. And you were like, was it Time magazine that you were on the cover of like
Business Week?
Business Week, and it was like, here's this young kid taking over Silicon Valley, what's the internet, and who's this kid controlling it, type of thing. And like it had all this hype, but like Gig didn't turn out maybe as wonderful as like we all thought maybe it could have done. But then you like had your finger on the pulse of all these other things you've done at Gig. I read it all the time, but is it pronounced Hodinkee?
Yeah.
Hodinkee. A watch blog that also like sells watches. You're a partner at Google Ventures. You have this app called Zero Fasting that I use. I love. Partner at True Ventures. I still think there is now. You got the Oak meditation app. I have a feeling there's like 5 or 10 other things you just have room that like I don't even know. Like most people probably don't even know about. But basically, my point is like you're kind of an internet OG and you are incredibly prolific. I mean, does that kind of summarize it?
Yeah, I mean, the most recent thing I started was Proof, which is our venture into the world of NFTs. And so that's the only thing I'm missing from that. And that's about 10 months old.
I'm trying to see if I want to add something.
That's on the newer side.
So from the outside, if I look at this kind of like collection of, or like their career path, it looks very random. It's like, from venture backed to angel investing to venture investing to kind of like niche communities, these like kind of apps that are like simple, like meditation and fasting. You did a podcast, you did a show, you done a bunch of content, you did a bunch of different things. Was there a method to the madness? Do you just describe it as random, or is there kind of like some underlying theme to this whole thing?
Yeah, I would say that I've always been one, ever since I was a little kid, to just tinker and just to play. And if there's any method to the madness, it is this common thread of exploration and just wanting to, if I see something that doesn't exist, that should exist, I want to go build it. And I've done that a handful of times, probably at least 10 to 15 businesses, of which, 90% of them go to zero, and then there's a few that pop and become, pretty big. So it's just this idea that I don't want to sit on the sidelines. If there's something that's exciting that needs to be built, I'd rather just spin up a team and go after it.
Of all those projects, and I'm actually going to exclude Proof from that because I want to talk all about that in a little while, but of all those projects that I mentioned, which one has been the most financially successful for you personally?
That's a good question. Certainly, I would say when I was in the middle of Web 2.0, which was when Gig was at its peak, which was about early 2006. We hit around 38 million people a month using the site. It was, of the Web 2 properties, it was one of the largest.
It smells really good, man.
It led me to sitting down and, dinners and conversations and hangouts with the, Jack Dorsey's and Evan Williams and Zuckerberg's and all of the household names that became big products, and they were just friends. And so because of that, it was more like, hey, well, you know, you want to invest in my new thing? And so I would say the investment side has definitely been the best financial returns. I did start a media company that, well, I would say there's two things well, three that are, two are unrealized in Hodinkee, which is going to be crazy. Well, you know, it's over 100 million revenue a year now, which is nuts.
Whoa, really?
And then we have, you know, the stuff I'm doing at Proof right now, which is just been another crazy rocket ship. But in terms of like true exits of businesses that I've started, Revision 3, where I was a co-founder of a media company that became Discovery Channel's digital arm. We sold that for $35 million back in 2008 or something like that. So
Yeah, man, this shit is about to slap. This shit's about to slap. Yo.
They're much larger
Yo.
on the more angel investment side.
And maybe that sale gave you the ammo to do the angel.
Yo, you can't really see. So wait, I know how to hook you guys up. Slow down.
I was already starting to do small investments prior to that. So I didn't have any money, I didn't come from money.
See, now me, I was just gonna straight fry it, but I might cook it
And we were a couple years
with
in,
all this
investors, and this is a very common practice that this happens a lot. Investors come around and they're like, hey, you know, you're doing this.
Cause it'd be mad long to just fry each one. Actually, not fuck it.
Buy some of your stock personally, right? And so I sold a little bit of my big.
So there's two ways to cook it. Usually I would stew it, but since I've been doing that the past couple things, you know, you guys probably want to see something different. So I'm not even going to stew it today. I'm actually just going to like fry it like how you would like a grill, and then I'll show you how I do that over the stove. With this, it looks and smells great. Looks and smells great.
How much does the 25K into Twitter and Facebook early on actually turn into?
Millions of dollars.
I mean, that math is even hard to comprehend. In Twitter's seed round, what was the valuation then?
Well, it was difficult because they were a podcast company doing podcast software, and then they did a new round. They pivoted it into Twitter, and so oh gosh, I'm trying to blank the name of the podcast.
Odeo.
That's right. They were Odeo. So yeah, I didn't invest in Odeo. They had become Twitter, and I asked Ev, who I was the tightest with at the time, because I didn't really know Jack
Shit, my phone.
yet.